Oh. I was so distracted by it being hot. Let me fix the camera a little more. I was so distracted by it being hot today that I didn't even record the spider. Poor spider's probably out there burning. It's like A Bug's Life where the guy got the little magnifying glass. Is that A Bug's Life or is that ants? I didn't really like ants. Bug Life was way better, right? Is that just me? A Bug's Life was way better, right? It was, right? I thought it was. So, as I'm thinking that I'm coming into the car, I didn't even give the spider a chance to vlog, not even at all, which is shiesty of me because I'm his only direct connection to the outside world. He doesn't have access to YouTube or anything like that, or photo editing at all, video editing, computer, nothing, internet, nothing. He doesn't have access to my Wi-Fi password, nothing. So I'm the only means for him to communicate with the outside spiders of the world. And I didn't even give him a chance to vlog. Damn, I'm fucking selfish. Either way, so my son's mother hits me with the curveball. My son's mother hit me with a curveball and was texting me last night about that she's not gonna have anybody to watch my son, yada yada yada. I had told her that my mom has been, I didn't tell her all of the details because it's my mom's medical stuff. She doesn't need, nobody needs to know, not even you guys, not even me if my mom doesn't want to talk about it. So I told her what I knew. I told her what I could of what I knew. That's the better way to say it. And she texts me. Shout out goes to Texas, man. Prayers out to you guys. But she texted me that I totally froze. She texted me at like 1 or 12:45 in the morning, and I'm at work luckily, so that's not even a big deal. That she's gonna need someone to watch Vicenta. She can't figure it out. Well, today she's telling me that she already had it figured out, but that her grandma's knees were hurting, and that her Nina was gonna watch her if she could switch her shifts, and all this fucking bullshit, right? But here's the fucking truth. From my perspective at least, you gotta respect both perspectives, right? When you're trying to mediate a situation as an adult. I know that her grandma watches 2 other kids all the time. All the time. So even if she's watching Vicenta, his sister, her daughter, is actually probably watching Vicenta more frequently or with more care than the grandma is, because the grandma is dedicating her time to 2 other kids. That is my perspective, my truth. Every single time that I drop them off, all the time, that those kids are always with the grandma. But it goes without saying that all of the things that I have ever said about her situation, her family, anything, everything, whatever it is, it's all from my perspective of things that I've experienced with her, knowing her and having dated her for a long time. And I think this happens to all parents. It happens to all co-parents that split. Because you know the truth from the person's perspective, from what you see, all of the things that you experience on your own, the things that necessarily wouldn't have come out if you were to never have had such a full-on relationship with that person. Right? Because sometimes when you date boyfriend, girlfriend, there's a lot of things that you might not know until you really start getting serious with that person. Even if you're just courting them, I mean, it's not like on the first date I'm going to tell you all the things about my family or even my household, right? You might not even know by the end of 5-10 dates that I have Verizon. Thinking about it now. I'm that secretive. So my point being this, as I'm on my way to go get my son, in the snap of a finger, I figured it out. I just texted my mom in the morning. I was like, I need a favor. Oh, I didn't tell her that. I just told her, can you watch Vicenta? And it was an instant yes. Are you going to bring him here? That was it. Boom. Because if I would have texted her, you know what, I can't, I'm at work, can you go pick him up? It would have still got done, because at the first initial text message, I would have known if my mom was going to say no, because she would have just said no. And that never happens. Ever. But I could have also went to the backup plan, which was my brother and sister. My brother and sister. But I know that my brother would have said yeah. And then I know my sister would have said what time. And that's as simple as it would have been, how it would have went down. And And all of those things going into play are factoring in when you're talking about building or giving your child an environment that is going to help them to grow, feel nurtured and loved, and have a place that they call home. Those are all factors that come into play, right? Because I know that my household when I was younger wasn't the same as what my son has now. And for friends, and I was going to mix the words family and friends, but for friends and family that were growing up around me, there were a lot worse situations and a lot better situations than the one that I had. I was like the middle class of my friends. I was closer to the lower middle class when it came to a family, at least. I had a shitty dad side of the family. I have a shitty mom side of the family. It's just us. So we're really close, us. And I always ventured out, and I'm talking about things that are side noted, but I think the biggest point that I'm trying to make is that the reason why I can rely on my family so much is because that's all we have. That's all we care about, and that's all we know, because everyone else has done us dirty. Where it is not exactly the same for her family from my perspective. Again, from my perspective, because there's a lot of other factors that I have experienced by my perspective, again, that have led me to believe that that family has issues that have been ongoing, will continue to go, because nobody wants to sit there and fucking talk about it. And that's the thing that I always had the problem with, is because I always want to talk about stuff. So I always fucking end up on the bad side of the stick with everybody in her family, with everybody in her household. So forgive me for wanting to heal and move forward and just realize that there's an issue. As I'm on my way to go get me something, I have to work today at 5 o'clock. So I'm closing, and I don't feel like closing. But you know what? It's Sunday. It's gonna be chill, man.